During the third level of Duke Nukem Forever, the President refers to Duke as a relic from a different era. After 15 troubled years of development and several restarts, this would prove to be an apt epitaph for the game itself. The once pioneering hero of 96 felt like a man out of time in 2011. Unfortunately, these sensations extend to the finished product, a shooter which relies on tropes and mechanics brought to prominence by games from nearly a decade before, painful humour that lacked relevance, and level design that comes off poorly next to Doom, a game from 1993. It's always hard to gauge how troubled games will surface, but you can easily say Duke would have been better left forever without this sequel. After 12 years, blonde machismo hero Duke Nukem is enjoying the rewards of heroism, including lip service from the wholesome twins, when aliens begin to evade again. Despite the possibility of their coming in peace, this wouldn't be a Duke Nukem game if you didn't get to shoot up the place, so they naturally attack and set our hero on another course of murdering hundreds of pig cops, alien troopers and octobrains. Hero is a loose term here, as rather than ape the parody and hilarity of Duke Nukem 3D, Forever takes the mythos of Duke Nukem too seriously, resulting in flat humour which revolves almost entirely around the sunglasses-clad meathead. This is coupled with outdated parodies, dull innuendo, and plenty of cringeworthy moments. Forever is a definitive case study of taking the joke too far.
You never stop to wonder if it might be distracting with you walking through? Do you want me to trash your mics? Would you like me to trash your mics? You don't fucking get it. The scene's done. Now,
With development lasting nearly 2 decades, that Forever suffered from outdated mechanics is a given. But even then, the crude level design is dull. Many segments see you moving between tight corridors, small arenas, and straightforward shootouts. Shooting is perfunctory, with bullets mostly landing, but entirely lacking impact. Despite some interesting weaponry, including shrink rays which allow you to stomp on enemies, shooting feels limp and flat. The small handful of enemy types leaves little room for imagination, with scarce ammo and waves of baddies proving more challenging than their actual AI. And with almost zero chances for exploration or hidden secrets, a staple of Duke Nukem 3D, it lacks the same ingenuity. But shooting isn't the only element of Forever. In an attempt to add spice, as well as cater to the trends of the time, shootouts are often broken up with vehicular sections, mini-games galore, and very lightweight puzzle solving. These vary from mildly diverting to atrocious. The opening level is front-loaded with these gimmicks, letting you play pool for example, and later on you can partake in pinball and air hockey. These are inoffensive, but worse are the driving segments, which handle like a shopping trolley on an ice rink. The supposed brain teasers are inane in their simplicity, failing to add much to the game.
What the fuck?
Duke, you don't have time to play with your balls.
Low point, the Hive.
Much was made of this level upon Duke Nukem Forever's release, but it's worth repeating. The Hive remains one of the worst levels of the 7th generation. This section proves equal parts repulsive and monotonous. Levels are caked with a brown, indiscernible coat of paint and are unappealing. Female NPCs are strewn around the level, now possessed by the alien force, leading Duke to lament how he can no longer sleep with them. A disturbing tonal shift tries to align this as the horror level, but still crams in parody via a triplet of breasts on the wall, which the player can slap to increase Duke's health. This is ultimately a problem with the Hive, as cramming an alien-esque horror sequence into a comedy title leaves it sticking out like a sore thumb. Easily the game's low point.
See what you little characters, that queen bitch mother of yours, gonna pay.
Duke Nukem Forever also suffers from a subpar presentation. The drab visuals drench levels with a dryness that is only worsened by flat textures and lighting, sometimes taking seconds to pop in too. Animations, performance and character models all look outdated, aging the game some 5 years. The sound is perhaps worse, with weak voice acting that sounds recorded in minutes. The only saving grace is John St. John, who invariably delivers the goods with his performance, despite the terrible material he has to work with. The writing is awful, relying on dated parodies and blunt innuendo, while the music is forgettable and often muted by cheap sound effects. The campaign itself isn't the longest, probably falling just below the 10-hour mark, but it doesn't end there. 4 difficulties are available, ranging from the straightforward to downright merciless, with Insane seeing the once tough hero being chewed to pieces in seconds. Quite the irony. Multiplayer makes an appearance, but features a basic assortment of modes with a crude twist. It is plagued by all the aforementioned problems with the shooting too. A few extra modes, such as cheats you can enable and a full documentation of Duke Nukem Forever's development, aren't enough to encourage players to stick around. Duke Nukem Forever's 15-year odyssey lands not with a bang, but a whimper. Even by 2011 standards, the bleach blonde hero was out of time, only backed by gameplay which is equal parts dull and outdated. Everything else, from the woeful humour and dated presentation, to the equally middling spread of loosely connected mechanics and dull level design, ends up being one of the poorest efforts this console generation would see, and while other games may be more broken, Forever is just plain boring. Even if you're curious after all the time Duke Nukem Forever spent in development, this one is better left in the past.
What the hell? No! Come on, no! This is disgusting!